Squaring up corners on a high tunnel can be one of the most time-consuming tasks when building your high tunnel, yet it's the most important. In this video, we're going to show you the best way and the fastest way you can do this to get the project going. And we're going to start right now. Now, we are not sponsored or affiliated with Bootstrap Farmer. We just enjoy and love their product. We received the high tunnel from Bootstrap Farmer, and I have been in love with this company since day one. When I was in a sling and had to harden off the trays to bring in the trays from outside to inside and inside to outside, I was able to do it with just one arm. We still have these trays, and we've been with them for 3 years now. They have great people, great customer service, and amazing products. So you have your high tunnel, depending on where you got your high tunnel from. I would not recommend starting your high tunnel all by yourself. It's with a helping hand will help out and save a lot of time. Now, the first step is you want to know where the location of your high tunnel and the distance and the size of your high tunnel is going to fit in that space. We have a 20 by 40 feet high tunnel, and first we decided that it was going to be out there in the pasture, and then we decided later on that it was going to be right here. We did the soil test of this area, and you definitely want to make sure you get a soil test so you know what type of soil that you're going to be growing up in here. From this fence, since this fence, we figured that it was going to be the most straightest thing on this property, these fence lines. So I did 8 feet off of the fence line and try to do in line of here, which this line wasn't straight. So I kept the 8 feet this way. We started off with this point as our first initial point, our set point. And then we went out 40 feet that way, and we made sure there was 8 feet off of the fence line. The method that we're used to keep everything straight is the Pythagorean theorem. There's another way that Bootstrap Farmer gives an option for, and that's just basically going from one point to the diagonal point, and then from another point to diagonal point. That one's going to cause more steps and more tedious times. I like to keep it simple, quick, and fast. So we just use the Pythagorean theorem, basically a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we did the width as our A, which is 20 feet wide, and then we did the length as our B, which is 40 feet long, and that gives about 44.7 feet. That's going to be our diagonal point. So what we did, we took our string line or our tape measure, our real tape measure, went out to that distance, did a marking where that's going to be at, and then from point 2, we did 20 feet and did a like a radius. So wherever those points meet at, that's when we know that point is going to be our third point. And then from there down to the last point, we measured out 40 feet long, and then from here to here, basically doing the same thing. You're doing a radius, so that way wherever those lines meet, that's going to be where you put your last stake at. So then you take your diagonal point with your real tape measure and just make sure the distance equals out the same, and then you could just do some minor adjustment. Now with Bootstrap Farmer, they supply just about everything that you need besides the measuring tape and things of that nature. They even give you this ground post driver. It's going to protect your ground post for when you're driving in the posts here. These are 48 inches long, and you want to drive them at least about 2 feet deep. That's the recommendation for them. And so this keeps it from beveling out. So that way when you put your arch, hang your arch up inside these posts here, it'll be able to fit nice and easy. And then you do your string line to get making sure when you put your other interior ground posts in that they fall all in line. Now the good thing I was kind of nervous about, because I thought you had to be perfect for these high tunnels, but after talking with Nick, he was saying you could be off to 4 inches, but when we did ours, I was off by 1/4 inch, so I feel a lot better now that I can continue on with the process with our high tunnel. Now, this is another thing that the Bootstrap Farmer did not supply. It checks 2 sides to make sure all of your ground posts are going to be level. So you just add it on here, and about every few strikes, you want to make sure and double check that your your pole is plumb, because if you get it halfway in and you have to do some adjusting, especially right now where our soil is in this Texas heat, it's dry and it feels like concrete. The missus even had to wet up some of the ground prior to me pounding these ground posts in, because it was just so hard. So you got these levels on here and it just makes everything so easy. Now after you got all your four corners in ground and plumbed and leveled, you want to double check them again just to make sure that everything is square, because this is the perfect time before you get everything else up, especially when you get your other ground post in and your end walls in. Because if anything is off more than what Nick was saying from Bootstrap Farmer, then you're going to have to take everything down and then do it from there. And it's just easy right now where you don't have that much adjusting to do to get it fixed right here and right now. So now I'm going to show you how fast it is, especially with a helping hand, how you can square everything up and you don't have to do all of this fidgeting around and going back and forth type stuff. All right, so I'm going to grab the materials, and then once I got them all, we're going to time ourselves to see how long it's going to take to square up a 20 by 40 feet long high tunnel space. All right, so we're going to start right now. I got my timer going. Then I'm going to go across here and do our 20 feet. So we should be at 44 feet and 44.7, which is like 44 feet, 8 5/8. So we got the 20 feet right here. All right. Now take that into over there. So we got 40 feet. Now to double check. We're probably off maybe a quarter, maybe 1/8 of an inch. So we're at 40 feet, 44 feet, 8 inches, 8 and about 3/4. Maybe, yeah, 3/4. So take that over to that one. Now you want to take a look at this? About off an inch. I'm fine with that. Yeah, he said, Nick said anywhere from 4 inches, you should be good. And if we got it down to an inch, I could possibly move it in just a little bit, but.
Okay, what's your time?
Oh, let me see. Seven minutes and 42 seconds.
And that's knowing what you're doing.
Yeah. Now, we didn't purchase this product by ourselves. Luckily, the NRCS funded us and gave us a down payment for this so that we can get it from the Bootstrap Farmer. And we wanted to go with the Gothic style high tunnel, but Julian mentioned being in Texas, it wouldn't be benefit for us to get the Gothic style because we will have to add additional equipment and materials to keep it cool, because as the temperature rises, it's going to hold that heat. And since we have a long growing season, it wouldn't be beneficial for us. So he talked us into getting the regular size high tunnel, and that's how good the customer service is over there at Bootstrap Farmers. They won't just try to take your money or try to sell you a lot of things just to try to get your money. They would try to help you out and learn what's your main reason for getting the high tunnel. So that is one of the main reasons why we like to go with Bootstrap Farmer. Now, we talked a lot about going through the NRCS of getting the high tunnel along with our water catchment system. And if you want to learn how you can do that, we did a video about that. We'll put that off to the side and also down in the description below. Until the next video, let's grow together.